True and faithful, this is Troy. Just as an introduction to this episode, this is part 2 of 3 of Braden Naglis talking about his mission to Africa. Part 1 is us talking about topical topics. Part 3 is the conclusion to his story. All of these episodes are up and available now for you to listen to. Without any further ado, please enjoy this episode. Move on to you.
Oh,
Braden.
Yeah.
You got a story. I feel like I've heard bits and pieces of your story from Lyndon.
So highly misrepresentative.
Yeah. Tell me about. I'm trying to think of how best to. How much do you want to reveal about yourself as a person,
That's what I was worried. I was like, this could be like this. The tone of this episode could be very different than our usual episodes.
But I think it could be extremely interesting because I wanna talk about some things, but I don't know how much you want to or would be willing to share. We could just stick to your mission experience solely, or we could expand it out to your views of Mormonism as a whole. Is that outing you in and of itself? We can go back and, do this part again if we want to.
No, I don't really care. That's fine.
You don't care about, I can ask you anything.
Ask me anything.
We can edit it later if we want. So, let's talk about from pre-mission, okay? From like the time you're 18. Did you want to go on a mission?
Oh, I didn't think you'd get so deep with this right away.
This is investigative journalism at its finest.
Yes.
Did I want to go on a mission? Oh, that's tough to say because I feel like when you go back in time and think about how you interpret yourself thinking, it's just a created memory. So I want to say that I'm pretty sure that I thought I wanted to be a missionary.
How long did you feel like that for?
Well, I remember when I was younger looking at the missionaries and thinking they were just like such great people, and also just seeing this huge divide between how I saw myself and these great, immaculate, young men.
So you thought, you were, you wanted to be like them. They were sort of aspirational figures for you.
No, I didn't want to be like them.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I just saw them as what they were as a young Mormon, seeing that face value. I don't know if anyone else looked at the missionaries when they were younger and just thought that they were just like these two perfect people who were serving the ward.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Were they not?
How? And I'm thinking, how will I ever be like that?
So I'm confused then. So you looked at them as like perfect, but you didn't aspire to be like
it was
them.
like an unattainable goal. I was like, man, look at these two perfect people. Man, what a train show my mission will be.
But you
Train show, train wreck.
A train show.
I mixed gong show and train wreck.
What
together.
a train show.
Like a 1/16th model train show.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What a tiny train show it'll be.
It'll be whimsical.
We should make that's a t-shirt. What a train show. Did you look up to Lyndon's mission? Did you look at him as like, Lyndon has gone on a mission, I want to go on a mission now? Or was there pressure to do that?
I would still say no. Like,
Tell us about living in my shadow, Braden.
It just felt like such a long period of time too, being that I would have been, I guess, 14 at the time, 15.
When you were 19.
I am 3.76 years older than Braden.
Did you research that? Did you do the math? Is that just a number you've known for
You researched it.
years?
It's a number I have approximated.
Okay.
We'll find out later if it's exactly
So you didn't
correct.
necessarily look up to Lyndon when he was on his mission. Was there pressure from your parents?
I think what I'm getting at is I didn't necessarily look up. I don't think I've ever really looked up to people.
anyone.
I don't think it's not really my personality type to look up to other people.
That's what I'm getting right now. I'm like, I'm discovering. I'm like, what kind of a person is this man? He's like, I saw them as perfect, but I didn't feel anything about it.
Just a simple observation.
Yeah, I observed that they were perfect people, which was an incorrect observation, but I wouldn't find out until much later.
Highly imperfect. Okay, so let's get like a broad stroke of what happened. Can you give us sort of a point by point breakdown of like, and then we can get into details later, but just so we have a roadmap of where we're going from the time you kind of started to prepare for a mission to when it ended. Can you give us like a point for point? What happened?
Maybe start it when you rage quit Green Drop. That's the real beginning.
Okay.
Okay, so that's true because I was living in Calgary, going to school when I was 17, which was a bit much.
Yeah.
At the time, especially in hindsight, to be living away from home when you're not 18 yet. So you're still just one of your parents' kids living.
Yeah.
Like, didn't have a job, didn't have money, was just going to school. Like, my only job was to go to school, and ended up dropping out of school because I didn't like my program that I was in at the time.
What was that?
I went to Mount Royal to take their aviation program because I had big aspirations to be a pilot at the time.
Okay.
And I had just finished training for my private pilot's license while I was in high school. So I graduated high school and also got my private license.
Yeah.
Like shortly after. So then it was like, I want to do this for a living. So I'm going to go to Mount Royal because they have a program where you get a diploma and your commercial license and you're supposed to be set up well for your career.
Yes.
But the program's not that great. You know, if anyone's looking into it, don't.
Okay. Why?
The training's very overpriced and the diploma...
And they're just like, press the start button and you're in the air.
The diploma won't really benefit you that much. You'd be better off getting a degree, like especially if you wanted to work for an airline. If you had a degree and your commercial license, that's what they really like.
Okay.
If you just get your license, then you can work as like a bush pilot because they like those high school graduates with licenses.
Expendable people.
Yeah, exactly. Expendable people to go fly in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Okay, so then you work for Green Drop. Wait, so you dropped out of the program, is that what you said?
Yeah, I dropped out of the program, and a big part of that is because I know I hadn't developed any kind of work ethic in high school, and
Who has?
Well, I can tell a memory of like I knew Braden was in trouble. Is when he's like, Lyndon, how do you write an essay? And I was like, what? He's like, what would you even do? I was like, an intro, a body, a closing? He's like, it was all like too much for him. I was like, didn't you learn this in high school? He's like, no. So it's like he was tasked with writing an essay in school, and he's just like, I don't even know what an essay looks like.
Right.
And it's so strange because I really don't mind writing, and in my schooling that I recently completed, writing was fine. I feel like I'm pretty decent at writing now.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of writing at work, just like technical documents, and it's easy.
So you're a writer now?
No.
Working on your novel?
No.
The Great American Novel?
No.
Canadian novel. Okay, so when do you start working for Green Drop?
I think it would have been the spring or summer, like right after that first semester.
For those who don't know, Green Drop is a landscaping company. They specialize in fertilization of lawns, aeration, that sort of thing.
Weed killing. Number one specialty.
Keeping your lawn green.
Weed free.
This episode brought to you by Green Drop.
All right.
So then you work there, you rage quit.
Yeah, because working for Green Drop is pretty tough.
It's hell.
We didn't live with Theo at the time, did we?
I think
he was still the manager. I don't know if we lived with him.
No, we lived with Theo, but I don't think he was manager yet.
Oh no, he was manager for sure.
Oh,
he'd been manager since I got home from my mission.
Theo.
Well, oh yeah, we lived with him, and he
Theo?
drove.
No, not Theo Gibb.
Never mind.
He drove the Green Drop truck. I do remember that. Yeah. So yeah, he had to have been. managing.
Why did you quit?
He was Mr. Manager.
Oh, I didn't have the work ethic to put up with it. So it was just like too much. It was too overwhelming to do all this work
Yeah.
because I was just so unfamiliar with
It is
working.
awful. It is an awful working place.
It is pretty bad work. So if you combine that with like a 17-year-old who never developed a work ethic in high school, it's pure misery.
Okay. I can second that. I did it like after my mission, and I was like this close every day to quitting. So
Right. Even after 2 years of
even
hardship.
after 2 years of like building discipline and everything, you have to wake up at like 5:30 every single day, and then you're starting at 6, and then you end at 6, and you're just like, what?
You ended at 6, Troy?
I was.
You end
slow.
at 2, Troy. Come on.
I wasn't on those nice trucks, okay? I was the aeration guy, and that's a steep learning curve.
Mistake number 1.
Yeah.
We could have green drop stories all day.
Green drop
We've
stories.
all worked at green drop here.
All right, so what's the connection there to your mission?
Well, I guess so. Quitting Green Drop was like, okay, I'm not working in Calgary. I'm not going to school in Calgary. I'm moving back home
Right, to Olds,
Alberta.
Olds, Alberta.
And then my dad set me up with a job at the local lumberyard, which I sometimes wonder if he just did that so he could get a sweet discount. But I don't think I interviewed there at all.
Yeah.
Like dropped off my resume, and it was more like a head nod from my dad to Danny, the manager.
Yeah.
And then I started work
Uh-huh.
shortly thereafter. I think that summer. And that was my like big character building job because it was backbreaking labor, like much more laborious than Green Drop.
Ooh.
Green Drop, the problem with Green Drop is it's a really mentally hard job to do because you're just doing the same thing.
Right. It's taxing.
Yeah, it's like you just see the same lawn 40 times
Yeah.
in a day,
Yeah.
like super, and you don't interact with anyone.
Yeah.
The only interactions are awkward at best.
Yeah.
Like somebody letting their dog out in the backyard and you're like, please don't.
Don't talk to me.
And don't talk to me.
I don't want to do that. Hey there, how's it going? Like, yeah, thank you. Hi.
I got
Just
a job to do.
Doing this.
Yeah. So I remember.
So you're building discipline at the lumber yard. You're doing it. You're breaking your back. You're putting in the time, the effort. And then at this point, are you like, I want to go on a mission?
Well, here's the thing.
How old were
I
you
feel
then?
like when you grow up in the church and you're a young man, the assumption is you're going on a mission.
It is, yes.
So decision or not, that's just how you live your life, and you are always preparing because when you turn 19, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Or in this case, when you turn 18.
Yeah.
Well, not at the time, but I assume
But
that
now.
that's what people do now,
Yeah.
is graduate and go.
Just get out of here,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Live your life. So you were like under the assumption that you were going to go on a mission.
Yeah, and that's all. I was working there and just saving money. I was working there to save money for my mission.
Okay.
So that was actually the whole point of working there was.
Right. And then the time comes and you put your papers in. No problems. Everything's cool.
Oh yeah, going to the YSA in Red Deer as a strapping young man who works in a lumberyard and is just shredded and muscled up. Woo!
Jacked up. All those hotties in Red Deer.
I had a good time.
Yeah. And everyone's like, and when you're about to go on a mission, everyone's like, you're going on a mission. And like, yeah,
And you're just living at like the highest
you're living off the credit of
highest point.
like, you're gonna go on a mission.
Yeah, exactly.
People are like, wow, he's gonna go on a mission. He's done so much.
Yeah. He's prepared all his life.
Yeah.
Really, it's just like the past 3 months.
And all the guys in the ward who have sons refusing to go, they're just like, you're my son now. Shut up, Rodney. Yeah. So then you get your calling, and where did you get called to go to?
Yeah, I remember sitting in front of the computer. I think we were on Skype with people who were in Calgary. Because, I mean, why would you drive to Olds to
When you're opening your thing.
opening a letter?
Were you on
And
Skype?
I was on Skype.
Yeah. What were you doing at this time?
I was in school in Calgary.
School in Calgary. Okay. What year was this?
2012.
2012.
Summer
Crazy.
of 2012.
Weird. Okay.
And I opened the letter, and I, scanned down the page and saw that I was called to.
You just scanned?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't read?
Oh, hell no.
You didn't even have the patience to read.
No.
You scanned.
You spend all that time waiting for the letter to arrive.
He knows what's in the beginning.
Yeah.
I decidedly did not want to. I wanted the words to be a surprise as I read them in this sentence. So you scanned.
Well, I think my parents or my mom was over my shoulder, so I didn't want to be the first one to read it.
Right.
So I scanned down and I saw I was called to the Zambia Lusaka mission.
Okay. Wow.
And I said, where is that?
What's Zambia?
Yeah, what is a Zambia?
Yeah. Is that what they smooth ice rinks with?
Yeah.
Zambia,
Lusaka.
Lusaka.
Lusaka is the capital city of Zambia.
Okay.
So I guess that's why they call the mission.
So that's in Africa.
Correct.
Sub-Sahara Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa. Is that special? Why is that important?
Is it important?
Not just Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa.
Well, not that it's a competition,
Okay.
but some people say the worst part of the world
Is
Sub-
Sub-Saharan.
Africa.
Yeah, that's true. That's true for sure. Because Zambia it's a really poor country, and it's what's considered the bush by other Africans living in other parts of the continent.
Wow.
Like you can go to places in Africa that are just as, at least their city will be just as well developed as any city here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm in Africa, but I'm in this very well developed place. But then there's other places that
Like
are
Wakanda.
not. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Zambia.
If anyone's wondering, Zambia is directly north of Zimbabwe. If anyone's wondering where Zimbabwe is, it's directly north of South Africa.
Can you do that all the way up to Egypt? Because that's the only place I know in Africa.
Okay, so you go South Africa, up to Zimbabwe, up to Zambia, up to the Congo, up to Chad, up to Libya, and that borders with Egypt.
Perfect. I know exactly where it is.
Excellent.
So do our
In the middle of
listeners.
sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay. So did you go to the MTC in Provo or elsewhere?
I went to the MTC in Johannesburg in South Africa.
So you're hitting up South Africa. Were you excited that you were going to Africa? Did you have to learn another language?
It was an English-speaking mission
Okay.
because the majority of the people there spoke English.
Yeah.
Zambia. So my mission covered Zambia and Malawi
Yeah.
and their former British colonies.
Okay. So were you excited? Were you freaked out?
I mean, I was pretty jazzed up because I was going somewhere that I thought was pretty unique.
Yeah.
And
Like everyone would think that.
yeah, so I was like, oh, this is cool. I have
For Zambians, I suppose.
check out this super sweet Mormon street cred I'm getting by having a mission. Like I was living high on life because the other thing is I got the call and I wasn't going for another 6 months.
Ooh.
So I had like a 6-month period of living high on life with all this street cred.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, I'm going to Zambia in December, and this is like in the summer, just living it up.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So then you get, is there anything pre-mission that's important for your story, or can we jump to the mission?
Nah.
So the mission, then, you get to Johannesburg, you're in the MTC for 3 weeks.
I think it was 10 or 12 days.
How long were we in the MTC for?
10 or 12 days.
All right.
Like I think they tell you 3 weeks
I swear
to
it's-
like get you feeling like, oh, everything's going to be fine. But really it's like you're in and out.
Right. Okay.
Remember, we didn't get 3 pizza days at the MTC.
I think it's
But
12 days.
you
It
don't
must
seem
be
to
12
remember
days.
that. Is that the thing? You don't remember that?
I don't remember pizza days, no.
On Friday, you got
No, we didn't have overlap. No, we didn't. I was in October.
I was maybe they got rid of it.
Could have.
Because that's how the foreign speakers kept track of, because you either got pizza or you got like teriyaki.
Right.
And so That was on Fridays.
I don't remember that.
So we only got 2 pizza days. We never made it to our 3rd pizza day. So we were there for like 15 days.
I got a fun fact for you. If
Okay.
you were going to Africa learning a language, you would still go to Provo because that's where they
Teach
train.
you the
They
language.
train languages.
Interesting.
But English speaking, you go to South Africa,
Okay.
to Johannesburg.
Did you have other language missionaries?
In the
Your
mission,
mission?
no. It was a strictly English speaking mission.
Did people speak English there?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, so that's sort of like the common tongue. What was the like the native language?
Like, it sounds like I had a more foreign mission.
No, they
I
spoke
had Spanish-speaking missionaries.
What they spoke was Chinyanja, but English because of the former British colony.
Okay.
They learned it in their schools.
So that was like the business language.
Yeah, exactly.
it was common for people to be able to speak English.
Yeah.
There. So you get.
But it's not what they would speak in their homes.
Okay, right. They would speak their sort of native tongue in their homes.
Yeah.
Do you so you leave the MTC in Johannesburg, you get to what's the city you went? I keep on to
Lusaka.
Lusaka. I keep on wanting to mispronounce that. Lusaka. You get to Lusaka, and then what's your impression of the mission president when you get there?
I don't know. He was a nice guy. I thought he was.
guy. Just a
He was
nice
very
guy.
kind. He was a very kind man, and
Kind, nice. Okay.
yeah, I think he, empathized with all of us arriving in Africa.
Was his wife one of those mission president wives who was happy to be there, or was just counting the days till she got to go see her grandkids again?
No, she was happy to be there. At least my impression. She
Yeah.
could have hated it
Yeah,
and hid that for our sake.
hit it very well. Give me your kind of big impressions of like being a missionary in your first moments there, your first weeks there.
Well, you spend your whole life growing up within the church, seeing, your normal white missionaries from Utah or Idaho
Yeah.
coming through, and you see what they do on a regular basis, and you form an idea of what you think being a missionary is.
Yeah.
And when I got to Africa, I noticed things were different, at least because I went to the MTC in Johannesburg, which is a super tiny MTC.
How many people were there?
I think our group had 30 some people, which was like the biggest group that they had in years.
30 people.
Yeah, they showed us photos of previous groups, and there was like 9 people
Oh my goodness.
that went through.
Okay. How was your MTC experience overall? Positive, negative?
I really liked it. It was really enjoyable. If you're wondering, the ratio of North American missionaries to African missionaries was actually like 25% North American. The rest were from other parts of Africa.
Okay.
So I met a lot of missionaries from all different parts.
Yeah.
And that's where I first learned Zambia's the bush.
Okay. Okay.
One elder from Uganda said he cried when he got the mission call because he was so forlorn over being sent to Zambia.
No.
Like, he was like, no.
The armpit of Africa. So, you get to your city and you Lusaka, and you get your first companion, and you've started to work.
I also want to get this out.
Sure.
That in the MTC, there was also this older missionary who was a former soldier.
Child soldier.
He didn't say when he started.
So
but
he's like 19.
he was like 26.
Oh, he's 26. Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty old to be going on a mission, and he was intense.
How so? Had that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, exactly. 1,000-yard
that.
stare. And one of the other missionaries from North America thought he would like wait just outside the bathroom to scare him after his shower.
Yeah.
And the guy is like your typical jock. Like, he was a big white dude,
Yeah.
and he
Oh, this is a white guy.
yeah, big white
That
guy.
was a soldier.
Not the
doing
doing the prank.
The white guy was pranked.
Was doing the prank.
He's doing the prank to this
former former African soldier who started at an unknown age.
Okay, that's a bad thing to do. All right, so let's hear
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So it's not that exciting, but he opens the bathroom door. He does the typical like jump scare. Dude doesn't even flinch.
He just turns to him.
He just walks out with his towel around his waist and just like looks at him. And the rest of us are laughing. But yeah, I think he looked at us and then started to chuckle when he realized that the proper reaction was laughter. But like he had scars in his leg from shrapnel.
Holy smokes.
And just super stoic.
That's pretty crazy.
How many people do you think he'd killed?
Oh, he probably had 50 confirmed kills.
He's like the Chris Kyle of Africa.
Like, what war was he in? I'd never heard about this war.
I don't think you need to be.
Where was he from?
I don't think you need to be in a war to be a soldier in Africa. You can also just be a mercenary or whatever.
Sierra Leone, because they experienced a lot
Oh,
of
I'm trying to think where he's from.
violence.
He was from another sub-Saharan African country. I want to say Uganda, but I'm not sure if that's right.
Okay.
This is a few years ago.
That's so crazy. So you
You got a trainer. Where was your trainer from? Did you love him?
The trainer was from the DRC,
what's that?
or the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was strange, I would say, but that's from my Western perspective as somebody from North America.
How was he strange?
I would say that when you have radically different upbringings and different experiences, one person will see the other person as being strange. He would be a totally normal person from the DRC.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, this dude is weird.
So to him, you were strange.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. But you guys got along pretty well?
Not at all. No.
Not at all.
No.
We got more. Okay. What was like? Did you have any big confrontations?
I would say the biggest confrontation was when it was a P day and our zone leader was driving the van with all of us in it, and my trainer wanted to be dropped off at our apartment so that he could like change his pants, because I think he might have gotten his pants dirty earlier in the day. And the trainer refused. No, I think he just splashed a little mud on the leg. But the zone leader refused to stop. So my trainer just like threw open the side door of the van while we're going 80K down the road.
And it was like, jump out.
Yeah, he was ready to jump out. And I was like, what is this guy doing?
This is your companion.
Yeah, what is my companion doing? My trainer. So that made me a little mad at him. Yeah. And so we like stormed back to the apartment in silence.
Like, you had to get out of the van?
I got out of the van with him because once he threw the door open, everyone was screaming and yelling. And
so someone else was driving, but your companion was the one who opened the door.
Like the sliding door in a van.
Right. Because
which caused the zone leader to pull over and let us out.
So he didn't jump out at 80 kilometers an hour.
No, but he was threatening to.
You're right.
He was a dramatic person.
Okay. So you were mad about that, and then was he a good teacher anyway? Like, was he in terms of like training you? Do you think he did a good job? Did you learn from him?
I think he did as well as you might expect of some young guy from Africa trying to teach a young white guy.
Else. Well, I don't know what my expectations are.
Right. Yeah. Like that. Going back to the track of, you grow up with that whole idea of what missionaries are and what being on a mission is like. Going to Africa was just throw that all out the window. Right. Because it's not what I thought at all.
Okay. So your expectations.
So my expectations were just dissolved because I had no idea.
Yeah. So for you and your trainer, so for the audience, just to give us some like perspective, how long was your mission?
I was on my mission for about 4 months.
4 months, which is 3 transfers?
Yeah.
Is that right? 3 transfers is 4.5. No, 2 is 4.
2
transfers is 4.5 months. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Because I was with the trainer and then I went to Malawi.
3 transfers. because 6 weeks plus that's
Yeah,
3.
2 transfers in the
2
Yankees.
transfers is 3 months, so 4.5 is. So you were there for like 3 transfers.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that time was it a full 3 transfers, or did it get sort of cut off there?
It was cut off a little bit short.
Okay, so you can I ask what the circumstances were upon your leaving?
Yeah, why'd you get transferred to Malawi?
So I already met with the mission president to talk to him about my trainer because, having no idea what to expect, I eventually got to a tipping point where I went and talked to the mission president to be like, what do I do? Or is this appropriate? Or,
What was he doing? What was so so he opens the door. What else is he doing that's just like, this guy's nuts? Was he nuts?
in hindsight, I would say, yeah, he was pretty nuts.
Okay.
But that might have just been...
Even accounting for cultural differences.
Yeah, and maybe just being from French Africa is enough to make people seem really weird.
Okay.
And we got along really well, though.
Yeah.
Before he got transferred, and I was a little upset again that I was getting transferred because I felt like I'd overcome quite a bit to get along with my trainer.
You had sort of both gotten to a point where you were getting along, and then you get transferred.
Yeah, we started off fine, whatever. I did the usual, show up at your mission first day, cry yourself to sleep,
Yeah.
get back up in the morning,
Do it again.
do it again,
Cry.
cry some more.
Eventually, the tears slow down.
Eventually, tears stop.
No more tears to cry.
Yeah, so our relationship hit a low, but then went back up till, I understood him a little bit better and we got along really well. But then, how there's a bit of a lag between communicating with your mission president and what happens? Yes. So the last time he had heard from me was me complaining.
It was bad, yeah.
So he transferred me.
Okay. Wow, what a cliffhanger. For part 3 of this story, or the remainder of this story, listen to part 3, which you can find up now wherever you listen to this. So we'll see you there. Bye.